We have a lot of the problems nowadays for the supply chain. Okay, now we should conduct the digital transformations from currently supply chain to the digital economy or digital supply chain. Then how can we do? Okay, what is our future plan and future goal for our supply chains? Okay, I would like to talk about it. Okay, actually, if everything converted to digital economy, okay, what happens to the upstream supply chain? There is a booming e-commerce and the diffusions of the digital technologies in the upstream supply chain, especially the small and medium-sized enterprises, is still very low. Okay, because of the resource constraints and some other restrictions, and maybe the SME, they tend not have the support, okay, by some financial institutions. Okay, SME has very limited capabilities to conduct the digital transformations because it costs a lot of money and they need a lot of knowledges helping them to conduct the digital transformations. So there is some impact. Indonesian e-commerce, okay, nowadays is dominated by imported goods. Okay, so therefore it's already difficult for those SME to compete with those imported goods. Okay, and so therefore SME in Indonesia is difficult to catch up for the imported goods. Particularly a lot of imported goods, they are coming from the much more advanced economies, such as Japan, Korea, China, even sometimes Taiwan and the United States, etc. Okay, and in this much more advanced economy, the SMEs has already been conduct the digital transformations and roughly already finished. I remember many years ago, I think about 6 or 7 years ago, I did international delegations to visit very small enterprises, okay, near Taichung. It is a manufacturer to producing bicycle saddle. Okay. Even though these small enterprises only produce such a simple bicycle components, okay, it is not high-tech products. But these firms, okay, they have roughly more than 80 robots, okay, operating day and night in his factory. About 2 years before the international delegation visit, okay, I was the advisors to these firms. At that time, they mainly rely on a lot of the immigrant contract workers. Okay. They have a lot of the contract workers from Indonesia. But then after that, they don't need so many workers, because they only need some engineer to operate for those robots. Okay, even the small business owners are very proud to show me that he can control everything from his mobile devices. Okay, he can see how about the efficiency and how many products they have been produced. I like to tell you that it happened 5 or 6 years ago. A lot of the Taiwanese small enterprises has been conducting the digital transformations. Particularly, they have already have the initial automations technologies, okay, even in such a small SME manufacturer. Because I was been in the ITS as a visiting professor for a short time, I also visited some Indonesian enterprises, because Indonesia is a very abundant manpower resources countries. Okay, so you can see a lot of the enterprises in Indonesia. They are mainly labor-intensive industries. I think that is the future potential danger for the Indonesia small and medium enterprises. Once you are in the international competitions, once you have to compete domestically with the imported goods, it will have some disadvantages, and the disadvantages will enlarge over time. So therefore, there is reminders for all Indonesian students and the industrialists is that you should have the digital transformation catch up as soon as possible. You know, the digital technology enables enablers for the as supply chain management. There are a lot of the new technologies because the new technology changed. That means the external environment has changed. Okay, the companies, they have the so-called technology efficiency. There is a term called technological efficiency. Means how many advanced technologies you introduced. Okay, if you like to keep on pace with those leading firms, you should also keep on pace. Okay, with those technologies as well. Okay, let's see what is it about. This is the IoT, Internet of Things. That means that everything has been connected. So therefore, every items, okay, they send signals. They have the every item has its capability to connect with the each machines, try to process this on these products. Okay, so the IoT is widely used nowadays in the advanced economies, and also additive manufacture. What does that mean? I think the most basic is the so-called 3D printing. Okay, because you know the printing it is additive one. It gradually added up something above. Okay, you know in the past in Taichung there is a lot of the precise manufacture in Taichung. A lot of them they are deductive manufacturing. Okay, what is so-called deductive manufacturing? Just like you have a brick of iron, you try to cut off the unwanted parts. Okay, they will cause a lot of the resource waste. Okay, because a lot of the unwanted parts you have to remove it and throw it away as unwanted trash. Okay, but of course those trash sometimes can be recycling and it can be reused. But in terms of the production efficiency, the 3D printing, or we call additive manufacturing, is much more resource. Okay, is resource savings, particularly in the future. Every firm has to face on the resource constraint issues. The additive manufacturing, not only they can have the technological efficiency, but also they have the material efficiency as well. So you have to be fully aware of that. Another one is advanced robotics. Okay, you know in the past robots is very expensive, but nowadays most of the advanced robots was developed by Japan and Germany. Since these two countries they are advanced economy, and their cost, R&D costs are also very high. Okay, but now the standardized robotics has been moving to China and moving towards Taiwan. The Taiwan and mainland China, we can produce the standardized forms of the robots. It largely reduced the industrial robots price. Okay, so that's why I said 7 to 5 years ago there was a robotic revolution happen in Taiwanese industries. Okay, because at that time the Taiwan robot market is just booming. A lot of the robots has been introduced to Taiwan, and Taiwan also developed a lot of the low-end or to mid-end robots. Okay, so the price undercuts. A lot of the small and medium-sized enterprises, okay, they can even have the robots, okay, installed in-house. So that is quite common, or already very common, okay, 5 years ago. And another one is called advanced analytics. What is advanced analytics? Advanced analytics is that we collect a lot of information, okay, from our suppliers, from our customers. So therefore, we can reach the balance between the buyers and the suppliers. We know how much amount of the quantity we can produce. So the advanced analytics, and also a lot of them, they are based on the cloud technologies. As I said, 5 years ago, the small machinery enterprises, the owner very proudly showed me they already have the software okay, in their mobile phone, the software can control and monitor every robot installed in their factory. So that is the very common future technologies already happens, okay, in some advanced economies. And the RFID and the GPS, it is something very similar to IoT, okay. RFID is also a sensor. Sometimes the RFID is a little bit costless compared to the IoT. The RFID can also tell the machines what I am, what is my informations, okay. So once the products go to these robots, they can using RFID informations or IoT to exchange informations with the robots and tell robots how the product should be correctly processed. So therefore, the robots can subject to every different products and conduct the different processing manufacturing processes. Okay. What is the meaning for that? That means mass customizations become possible. In the past, we are only thinking about mass productions, right? The mass productions is the thing that I can draw a graph to demonstrate this relationship. Okay, this is the types. Okay, product types. Product types. Okay, this is the amount. Okay, the product amount. Okay, how much quantity? Okay, amount or let's say the quantity. Okay, if you only produce very few type of the products, but in very large quantity, okay, this is what we call as a mass production. Mass productions. Okay, the industrial revolutions is how the human beings find a way for mass productions. For example, like the steam engines, okay, the machinery power, combustion engine power, electricity power, plus the processing line, the production lines. Okay, it makes the mass production possible. Okay, but because once we are human beings, we have many different kinds of the demands, and we should respect everyone have the freedom of the choices, right? Okay, so once we respect the market economy principle, everyone should have their freedom to choose. Okay, so therefore we should produce a lot of the different products. Unlike in a mass production era, like Henry Ford said, we producing every car, but only the black T model. Because at that time, the mass productions, they can only producing the only one standardized products into mass productions. Okay, so the Henry Ford, the Ford Motors, they're producing the black color T models. It became the first the car being mass manufactured. Okay, but now we are hoping that we can produce various different types of car with various different equipments, various different colors to meet everyone's different demands, right? So it was called mass customization. So that means we can subject to produce, subject to the customer's need to produce many different product types, also in large quantity. So the robotics and the RFID, the IoTs make it possible because every car in their base model, they have information to tell the robots how to correctly process these products. Okay, so the robots, okay, they can do different processing procedures, okay, according to different information given by IoT or RFID. Okay, and then also RFID and the GPS, they are also good in the logistics. Okay, because it can show in the real time where this good has been delivered. Maybe you can calculate exactly how many minutes left the goods will be delivered to your place. Okay, And also, this is called the augmented reality. Okay. The augmented reality is something for the customers. You can experience the products even at home through the augmented realities. So once you have the good experiences, you can place the order from the customer side to the manufacturer side. And the manufacturer side, they can place orders to the upstream suppliers as well. And also the blockchain technology. Okay, the blockchain technology, they contain the signals with some the seized informations, secret informations. Okay, nobody knows, and nobody can change that. Okay, so the blockchain technology can verify if the product is authentic, or how many robots, or how many suppliers, or how many manufacturers has been working on this. Once you are working on this, there is records in the blockchain's code. Okay, so once there is a default, it is very easy to trace the problems. If it is a defaulted goods, okay, it's very easy to trace who has been processed on these products, which supplier provided the necessary components, etc. Okay, so the digital technologies, they will comprise of those the most cutting-edge technologies altogether. Okay, so you can see how revolutionary the supply chain technologies will be in the future, and a lot of them has been become realized in some country.